I want to tell you about the project I started 2 years ago, along with the Volkshochschule Ottakring, where I work as principal. And we started a tiny German language course in the community of St. Leiten in the 16th district. And the reason why I'm so proud of this small project is because when we in the beginning reached out to the community, everyone told us how difficult it would be to start a course like that with people who were known to be quite reserved. But we succeeded in the end. But is there really an end? So what looks like a success story fall apart if we don't change our ways of working together. So St. Leiten is located in the 16th district, and it's kind of a city in a city. It was built 1925 to 1928, and it contains 1,500 apartments. Over 3,000 people live there today. And it's actually quite nice there. The buildings are open through every direction and connected through yards and squares and fountains. There's a public library, a kindergarten, a beautiful public park, and a public pool just around the corner. So living conditions are really good there, and costs are low, and the infrastructure is good. And it's Vienna council housing, and the city puts a lot of efforts to keep it that way and to keep living conditions high. But still, people in the community feel and felt personally disconnected, and something makes it difficult for people to communicate in the community. And we, of course, St. Leiten is changing as every community changed over the years. Inhabitants change, and local suppliers closed, and new people from different backgrounds moved in, and some older people felt disturbed. And local venues also were not in use anymore, and newly moved in and vested inhabitants found it difficult to renegotiate those rules of communication, which was quite necessary. So I want to emphasize that we wanted to start a language class in a community that had big difficulties to talk to each other. And community education programs have a big potential to change life standards in a community for the better, because it brings people together, actually. And we're talking about a very basic role in a Grätzl, as you would say in Vienna. And we empower people through building an environment where everybody finds their place, regardless of backgrounds or status. And those programs are small courses, workshops, developed in dialogue, and concern everyday issues such as do's and don'ts, and living conditions, and communication. So our first language course was not so much of a success. We had 2 students. But it wasn't actually a failure, because what we learned was we informed people about date, place, duration, time, but we didn't actually speak to them. We failed to reach out to them. And we're talking about people who are not sitting in the first row when you are having a participation process on a new project, demanding their own wishes or demanding their particular needs. We're talking about people who really have to be encouraged to participate. So we learned that we have to connect to partners in order to encourage people in the community to work with us. We developed language games, as you see in the back, where one could bring in their own mother tongue as a capacity and learn from others. So what happened was children really loved them, and parents started to be curious and stood nearby and had a chat with the German class teacher. And we built a network along with other partners, like the council management group, the public library, the local renters council that is very active there, and Soho in the 16th district, the festival, the art festival that moved to St. Leiten and will have its festival there. And we started to be visible on community events. People started to recognize us. And at the second attempt, we had 13 students. Everyone was quite pleased, and we were very happy and relieved, to be honest. So as we move on with our network, and you can see we saw a lot of beautiful pictures, and you have to live with my poor paintings now. As you can see, I draw a model of this tiny network we established in St. Leiten. And as we move on with this network, ties get thicker and relations are getting stronger. And we, as an institution of education, are moving closer to the community. And this was possible because, first, there was a public effort there. We could work with others, and we weren't alone. And second, objectives of our partner institutions overlapped. Their employees were committed, and they were able to raise attention from their executives. So there are a lot of ifs and whens holding a fragile network together. So if one link gets lost, let's say someone changes their job, or they have to focus on another project, or resources run short, this network we worked so hard to establish would be shaken or would get out of balance. And we have to make sure that this does not happen. Because as I mentioned before, we're talking about people that has to be reached out, that has to be empowered to really participate in a process or to participate in an education program. And they started to believe in us, and they count on us now. And we're talking about a community that felt personally disconnected and badly treated, and had lost the belief that change also could be opportunity. So if we have to secure this belief, because if people lose their just newly gained trust in public institutions or even private partners that we found there, they may fall back into a mentality of powerlessness. And who do you think people would vote out of this impression? So it's a must to establish sustainable ways of communication and working together and stick to them. And one of the most sustainable way to work together is to share a vision. And Vienna is a city with a lot of visions. We heard that before, a vision of a smart city, a learning city, a growing city. But how can we make sure that those visions come through from policymakers and experts to our communities? We often witness that visions are only shared by a group of people. And why is that a problem? Because change is fast. And there is no time and no space to cook your own soup and sit on your own little project pot, and with not knowing what your neighbor is doing. So accountability and reliability and to be visible and to really cope with the made promises we made, they have to be proven fast, and our actions have to be transparent. And second, we need long-term commitment to really establish trust. We have to be able to say, we're going to stay, we're going to be there for you, let's work out how. So this is only possible if we move closer to each other, by moving closer as institutions, as partners, and not by going in and telling how it needs to be done and leaving after project duration is over. We have to be brave enough to stay and be part of the community's framework. So again, I tried to visualize a model of an interconnected community of empowered people connected by private and public institutions. And there you can see a broadly based interaction with our partners. You can see the public players in the middle section and some private initiatives on the side. And the smaller dots are the inhabitants that are connected through our network. And what makes it visible is that our community network does not only connect the community among us, it does connect the community with the city. And the vision we share and the information and the programs we share can be shared by a lot of people. And sharing a vision does not come with one course or one workshop or even a paycheck. It comes with commitment, trust, belief, and support. So this city is doing well. There is no doubt about that. But if we really move forward to a community understanding that is interconnected, we would make sure that we can be active, visible, and effective, and really bring the vision of a City 2.0 into the lives of the people. Thank you.